for me to accept, is that even a word? Okay. Well, hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Sophie. So recently I saw a video that Molly Burke uploaded. If you don't know who Molly Burke is, she is a blind YouTuber and I absolutely love her videos and would love to meet her one day. And she did a video on whether she wanted to be cured and get her sight back, and it got me thinking about my health and what my answer would be, because people have asked me if I wished that I could, you know, get my hearing back. Jumping into the question, now I know a lot of people will have a lot of different answers, and I know my mum has a very different view to what I have, because I actually asked her this question this morning before filming the video. For me personally, the answer would be kind of dependent on the day, but more on the no side, and I'll tell you why. I have had my hearing for the majority of my life, and it's only in like the last 6 months to a year that my hearing has really decreased and got worse, which is what decreased means, obviously. So for me, I've kind of only recently gone through all the motions of adjusting and kind of almost mourning my hearing, if that makes sense. And when I first lost my hearing, or like first started becoming more and more deaf, I kind of was like, oh my god, this is the worst thing in the world. How am I gonna live? How am I gonna, you know, do everything? Because for me, hearing was my normal and is what I knew. So when I first lost it, I was kind of like, oh my god, like I want my hearing back, like give me my hearing back. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I felt so isolated, I felt so alone, and I felt like it was literally the end of the world. However, as I have learnt to adjust and learnt to adapt things and kind of got more familiar, I see that actually it's not all that bad. And honestly, there are some very good points of having a hearing loss. Like when I want to just shut off from the world, I can just take my hearing aids out and I'm like, silence. And when I have a really bad headache, I don't have to listen to anything. But yes, there are a lot of adaptations, and there are things that I've had to change, and there are things that maybe I can't do as easily as I used to. But for me personally, I think kind of going through it all, I feel like when I'm constantly looking for a way to get it back or constantly looking for a way to improve it, I'm so focused on that and I'm not living my life. I'm too focused on the I want something I don't have, and I'm not learning to adjust, I'm not learning to adapt, and I'm not accepting my reality now. And whilst yes, if there was a way to be like, oh okay, take this pill and you get your hearing back, it would be maybe something I would consider, but honestly I don't know if I would, because there's nothing wrong with having hearing loss. Like, just because you can't hear, you can't hear. It doesn't stop you from doing anything else, and you see things in a very different way. You see more than you would maybe if you have hearing, because you kind of pick up more around you. And again, like with all my other health, I have made some really amazing friends that I may never have made if it wasn't for having hearing loss. And I know that in Molly Burke's video she said straight out no, and she has had blindness now for 10 years and it is her reality. And I think that she is able to accept that so amazingly is amazing. Like one day I hope that I can be exactly like that, but for me now it's still fairly new. It's still, you know, in the first year kind of thing. So whilst I wouldn't say outright yes I want my hearing back, there's also not an exact no to it, because it's still fairly new and I'm still learning to adapt to situations, and there's still situations that come up that I get thrown off by because I have not experienced it yet. So it's still kind of new, and there are moments in my life, in day to day or weekly or monthly or whatever, that I'm kind of like, I kind of wish I could hear right now. But for the most part, the answer is actually no. So that is why I say maybe yes, maybe no, because there's certain situations that I'm still learning to adapt, but the ones that I have learnt to adapt and the ways I've accepted, I have accepted. And for me, accepting it to be able to move on is just, this is what I have, this is what I've been served, this is what I'm gonna, you know, this is my reality and this is how I'm gonna live now. And by wanting to get something back, you're living in the past, you're not accepting it, you're not moving on, and you don't feel like, you know, you're living, to be honest. Like, every time I have to go to a hospital appointment or try something new or try this medication, I just feel like I'm not living, like I'm letting all of this stuff take over. So for me, much like I'm sure many other people, dealing with it and accepting it and moving on and just forgetting about the past and what I had is a way to deal with life. I feel like if I wasn't lucky enough to have a family who thinks and accommodates for me, or my work employees, if they weren't, you know, willing to make more of an effort so that I can understand, or my cheer friends or my coaches or just my friends, if they weren't so good and so easy about adapting and learning new ways and understanding what I need, then I feel like I'd probably want my hearing back, because I would feel like it's the end of the world no matter how much I try to adapt. But at the same time, because they are, and because I can see things in such a different way, I see life in a different way, and I have kind of been more exposed to a different culture and a different way of living and a different language and sign language and stuff, you just see life in a very different way. And different isn't always bad. I am horrible with change at first, but sometimes I then kind of learn to love that change more, if that makes sense. And the reason why I haven't, yes, it's change, and yes, it's different, and it's not the normal, but it's not the end of the world, and you can live just as good a life as someone who is fully hearing or fully deaf or mild hearing loss. It doesn't matter. There are some amazing deaf actors out there, and, you know, entrepreneurs and amazing people living this life just in a different way. I feel like people need to get over the whole hearing loss is bad, you can't do this, you can't do that, because let's face reality, the only difference between a hearing person and a non-hearing person is that non-hearing person can't hear and does things in a slightly different way. It doesn't mean they can't do it. Hearing is still what was my normal. This is now my reality, and I'm okay with that, and I am accepting it. I obviously haven't fully accepted it, because I mean, it's not even been like a full year since my hearing's gone that bad, but I'm accepting it, and I feel like this is my way to accept it. So if you did like this video or you found it helpful in any way, I would love for you to give it a big old thumbs up. And in the comments below, I would love to hear how you think you would deal with it. Do you think you would be more like myself, where you kind of just accept it and you learn to live with it and you just move on and you're not that bothered about getting the past back? Or do you think you'd be more like my mum, where although you've accepted what your reality is, you're always looking for a way to improve it to make life easier without having, I guess, to make so many adaptations? Because both ways are perfectly normal. And if you're not already, I would love for you to subscribe. I love the fact that we're getting so many little family members at the moment. It makes me feel so happy. And I've had a bunch of you messaging me recently saying that my videos have helped or made you laugh or, you know, cheered you up, made you feel less alone. And honestly, I just want to say thank you so much, because it means the absolute world to me. Honestly, it makes me feel so amazing that I can do that just by sharing my experience and my views on, you know, living with chronic illnesses. So I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you so much. You are never alone, and I would love to hear from any of you guys. So if you do want to get in contact, don't be shy. I don't bite. My social media links are all in the description box below, as is my last video, so you should go and watch that. And yeah, I think that's all. So until next time, keep watching, stay strong and stay safe. Bye guys. If you can get it legally, why not?